2012 R2, Windows Server 2022, 2019. These are all server operating systems.
Exactly. And what are the client operating systems we have in the market?
We have 2011,
Mm-hmm.
2008, others.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Usma. So why don't we use Windows Server 2019 for our personal use? What is the reason we don't use Windows 2016 or 2019 server operating system for our personal laptops and all? Why don't we use them? I mean, server operating systems comes with additional features, right? Comparatively with client operating system. In server operating system, we have a lot more options and features available. So why don't we use this better operating system for our personal use?
Because they are server operating systems, right?
Yeah. So we discussed this yesterday. Anyone else can answer? Junaid, Mujahid.
Yeah, actually, server operating system does have lots more features. So that we'll use the latest one, and
Mm-hmm.
for client operating system, uh, we are user friendly with the 2010, and
Mm-hmm.
we are very capable of with that. That's the reason we use the 2010. In 2019, maybe we have we don't know the updates. We are not so user friendly with 2019. That's the reason we use 2010.
Okay. Okay. All right. So Windows 10 has been a very hit in the market, right? So Windows 10 everyone have been using. So prior to Windows 10, everyone were used to Windows 7, right? Windows 7 was also a hit, and now Windows 10 is a hit. So everyone is very much used to Windows 10 and not even looking to upgrade to Windows 11, right? So yeah, that can be a reason, but the major reason I think I mean we might have not discussed this, but yeah, I just want to reiterate it once again. So the reason we don't use server operating systems, see, server operating systems comes with better options, okay, additional features. Like in server operating system, you have something called server manager. With this, you can manage a huge environment. It gives you a lot of options, a lot of features, like you can install active directory server role, you can install DHCP server role, you can install the DNS server role, you can install the WDS server role. You have multiple roles and features in server operating system which you can install and configure. So these roles and features will help you to manage a huge organization. Okay, so all these features comes with server operating system, but in client operating system you don't get these features. You just get very limited options, limited features. So the reason we don't use server operating system for our personal usage, for our personal laptops or computers in at our home, is just because at our home we are not managing an organization, right? It's just for our personal use. We don't need to manage a huge environment at our home, right? So we just need a particular user interface, a computer which gives a user interface wherein we can browse websites, do our personal stuff, right? So for that reason, we just go with the basic client operating system like Windows 10 or Windows 7, which just gives a basic user interface to make use of it for personal usage, right? But server operating systems are mainly used in organizations wherein you have to manage multiple resources, users, you have a huge environment wherein you have to manage everything. So in order to manage all those things, you get those features as well in server operating system. That is Active Directory and all you get in server operating system. So server operating systems are only used at places wherein you have to manage a big environment, like at hospitals, okay, or any place wherein you have a huge environment and lot of data comes in and goes out. So you have to manage it and keep a track of all those data and all. So for those reasons, you go with server operating systems. Okay, and apart from that, hardware also matters. Okay, so if you are choosing server operating system to be installed, then you need to have better hardware. Okay, you need to have at least 4 GB of RAM or 8 GB of RAM to configure a server operating system. And you have to have a better storage and better processors. But in order to install a simple client operating system, that is Windows 10 or Windows 11, 2 GB or 3 GB is also fine. 2 GB of RAM is also fine. You can configure it with least hardware. Okay, so you don't need to have high end processors, or greater storage is not required. You can just configure a client operating system with the least hardware requirement as well. Okay, does it makes clear?
Yes.
Why we don't use server operating systems at our home is just because we don't need it. We don't need those features and those benefits at our home, because it's just our home, it's just our personal use. So we don't need uh, those additional features of managing an environment. Okay,
Okay.
so that is about the operating systems, client operating systems and server operating systems. So today we are going to start with the basics of Active Directory. What is Active Directory and what does it do? Why it is important, and what is the structure of operating system? Sorry, what is the structure of Active Directory and what are the components involved in Active Directory? Okay, so yeah, what is Active Directory? What do you understand by Active Directory? This is a very much common question for any interview you would be appearing for. Okay, make a note of these questions. So I will be bringing you such questions in future as well. Like whenever I'm introducing some topic, I will bring up some important interview questions, so you can just make a note of it. And so such questions you have to have your own customized answer prepared. Okay, so let's say so this is the one question we have. So what is Active Directory? What do you understand by Active Directory? For this particular question, you should prepare for your customized answer. Okay, so you should have a one page of answer at least. You should define Active Directory in a very well manner. Okay, so you should define the characteristics of Active Directory. What is the purpose of Active Directory? What all it does? Okay, why it is important? All these things you should describe in your answer which you prepare for. Okay, so make a note of such questions, whichever I'm mentioning, like it is important for interview perspective. So make a note of them, and you have to prepare your own customized answer. Don't go for online definitions, document based definitions. The document which I have shared is just for your reference, just for understanding. But you should not just repeat the same sentences in your interview. Whenever you're answering such questions in interview, you should have your customized explanation for each and every question. Okay, so can someone tell me what is Active Directory? What does it do? Why it is important? I mean, anything which you understand. I mean, whatever understanding you have with Active Directory, whatever you have heard about Active Directory, you can just mention. It can be right, it can be wrong. No issues in that. Come on, guys. This is going to be an interview question, so you have to be confident in answering these questions.
Like Active Directory is used to create the users,
Hmm.
manage them.
Create and manage them. Okay, that's correct. Any other question? Any other answers? Tariq, you want to answer?
Uh, yeah, Active Directory is like it has most of the operating system installed, wherein we can manage clients' data.
Mm-hmm. Most of the operating systems. So Active Directory comes after you install operating system. So operating system is when you purchase a hardware, you have to install an operating system so you can communicate with the hardware, make use of the hardware. Once the operating system is installed, then you will get additional features of the operating system. So Active Directory is one of the feature of operating system. So once you start utilizing Active Directory, then you can configure, then you can, I mean, the benefit is something else. It doesn't compares anything with operating system. But yeah, once Active Directory is installed, yeah, as Uzma mentioned, like you will be able to manage the environment in the sense, everything which comes under your organization, like a user, let's say there is a new employee joining your organization. So you will be creating an account for that new employee. So where you will create the account, you will create an Active Directory. Let's say Uzma is joining Infosys. So I will create an account uzma.shireen@infosys.com. So I have to create an account for her. I have to allocate a device for her, like a laptop has to be allocated, and storage space has to be created. Like when your account is getting created in Office 365, you will have a OneDrive storage space wherein you will store your company information and all. I mean, your files and folders will be there. So everything has to be created for a new employee being onboarded. So where does it happen? It happens in Active Directory. Everything, user creation, managing the user, happens in Active Directory of that particular domain. So infosys.com is the domain name. Infosys.com is the company name. I mean, so whenever you create an Active Directory, you provide a domain name, a forest name. Okay, so the domain would be infosys.com. So in infosys.com domain, you will create user accounts. Okay, any other answers?
We also assign roles to the users.
You also assign roles. Yeah, the permissions. Exactly. So what type of permissions you want to allocate to this user, what all resources this user is authorized to access. Okay, so let's say Mujahid is joining for, let's say he is part of the database team. Okay, so database, let's say he takes care of the SQL server. Okay, so I will have to allocate access for all the SQL related activities that he's going to perform as part of his job. So all those permissions has to be granted again with the help of Active Directory. So we have different roles like administrator. Okay, so user administrator. So we have like database administrator, storage administrator, different administrator roles we have. So we will allocate a role to this particular user as well who is getting created. Okay. What else it does?
Security also is there.
Security. Okay. Okay. All right. Raghu, any answers from your side?
I think that most of the points study, whatever I was thinking in my mind, most
Mm-hmm.
of most stable. I just have one question, like, is it also kind of to creating virtual machines to users?
Sorry, Raghu, your voice is not clear. I think you're connected from mobile, right?
Yes, Rajiv. Is
Yeah,
it clear
it's
now?
better. It's better now.
Okay, so just one question on it. Like, is it also is not extended in creating virtual machines to users when it says creating a user profile?
Creating virtual machines for users.
That, when the job is creating accounts for users in the sense it is also included like creating virtual machines to users, right? And allocating the storage and hard drives, all that stuff.
Yeah, creating virtual machine is not part of Active Directory. So it's a platform where you're creating virtual machine. Okay, so let's say if you're creating virtual machine in Azure virtual machines. So you will have a platform, a data center, wherein you will be creating a virtual machine. and then you will be allocating the access to that virtual machine to a user. That comes with Active Directory. So you will allocate a VM user or VM administrator role to that particular user account. So he will be allocate access to virtual machines. So that allocation of access will come under Active Directory, but not creation of virtual machines. I hope I answered your question.
Okay, Razi, got it.
All right.
Yes, yes.
All right. So, yeah, as rightly said by everyone, user creation and managing of users, allocating permissions to the user is part of the Active Directory. So, Active Directory onboards. So, whenever you're onboarding a new user account, whenever you're creating a new user account, it gets created in Active Directory itself. And Active Directory keeps a record of each and every object in your environment. Okay, so the primary responsibility of Active Directory is to maintain a record of each and every object in your organization. Object can be a user account, it can be a computer device, it can be a network device, it can be anything which belongs to your organization. Okay, it can be anything which belongs to your organization. So it's a directory. Okay, Active Directory is nothing but a directory in the sense. So we keep a directory, right? So let's say um, you have some assets at your company. Okay, so when you get into your company, you will be allocated with certain assets, right? Company assets. So they will provide you a company bag, laptop bag. Inside the laptop bag you will have headsets, you will have a mouse, you will have a keyboard. I'm sorry, if you're getting a laptop, they will provide you a laptop with a mouse, external mouse, headsets, right? And also they will provide some external RAS card connectors or other external devices they will provide. Right. So I think everyone who's a working professional, so you must be knowing this, right? So whenever you're joining a new company, they will provide you some assets, right? They will provide you some company assets. So they are providing you these assets like the laptop bag and the laptop and the headsets, so that you will be able to join the meetings and all, and they will also provide you a external mouse. Okay, so these are the assets they're providing you whenever you're joining the company. So how are they keeping a record of these assets which they are providing you? So they will maintain a tracker, right? They will maintain a tracker. Okay, this particular mouse has been given to this employee, this particular headset has been given to this employee, and this is the laptop has been handed over to this employee, so that they will keep a track of the devices which have been allocated to the employees. And once you're leaving, they will take these assets back, right? I mean, they will take it back when you're leaving the organization. Agree with me, guys?
Yes.
Yes.
So they are keeping a record of all these assets. So that is nothing but a directory. Okay, they are maintaining a record, a directory. Okay, these assets have been given to these employees. Similar to that, Active Directory is a directory wherein they will keep a record of each and every object that belongs to company. Okay, whenever a user is getting created, a new user account is getting created, that user account information will be stored in Active Directory. That is the directory, it will store the object information. Who is this user? Okay, Junaid is joining, let's say Wipro. Okay, so Junaid, okay, he is, I mean, his full name is Muhammad Junaid, and he belongs from Hyderabad. And this is his phone number, this is his contact details, this is his email address, this is his I mean location address and all. So all this information about the object, about the user, is stored in Active Directory. Okay, it's a directory. It is storing information about each and every object. So it's not about only the user, only Junaid as user. It is also about the computer. Okay, let's say there is a computer, there is a new computer your company has purchased. So they will create a computer object in Active Directory to keep a record of those computers as well. So I mean, you guys have been working with I mean with company laptops, right? So those company laptops will be domain joined, right? Your company laptops will be domain joined to your company, right? Agree with me?
Correct.
You know what
Yes.
is domain joined, right? So your company laptops will be domain joined. Domain joined in the sense nothing but it is connected to your Active Directory. That's it. As I mentioned, when you create an Active Directory, when you create a directory, when you install the Active Directory role and when you create it, you will create something called infosys.com. So infosys.com is a domain. You create a domain in Active Directory. So that domain, all your computers are connected to that particular domain itself. So your laptop, your company laptop, is also connected to the same domain. That nothing but it is connected to the Active Directory. So a record of your laptop is also maintained in Active Directory of your company. That is nothing but a computer object is getting created in your Active Directory. The purpose of joining your computer, your laptop to the domain is just because they will ensure that your laptop is threat protected, it is protected from viruses, it is also updated to the latest patches, right? Your laptop operating system. So I must I mean you must be aware that your company IT team will reach out to you every now and then. Your laptop is missing important updates, you have to install the latest patches, latest updates, install the security softwares and all. So I mean these things you might have been noticing during the pandemic situation as well, like you're working remotely from home, so you're getting emails from your IT team that your laptop is not updated, please update the latest patches and all, right? Agree with me, or I'm talking something new?
Yes, yes.
You
No, we
guys
are
agree?
aligned.
Yeah.
Agree.
So how all these things are happening, how your IT team is coming to know that your laptop is not updated with the latest patches? How are they aware of this even when you're working from home? Just because your laptop is domain joined to your company, it is connected to your company domain, so they have a record of it. They are able to track your laptop, they're able to track the softwares and everything which are getting installed on your laptop, right? And they're ensuring that no viruses are getting I mean your laptop is not getting hit with any viruses. They have the antivirus softwares installed on your laptop and everything is updated, so that the performance is not impacted on your laptop. So they're making sure everything is up to date and everything is secure on your laptop, just because your laptop is connected to the domain. It's a domain joined computer, it's connected to Active Directory. So with the help of Active Directory itself, they will push everything to your laptop, the updates, the security patches and everything. Okay, so that is how Active Directory maintains the record of computer objects as well. Apart from user objects, it also keeps a record of computer objects, whichever computer, whichever laptop belongs to the company. If it is domain joined, if it is joined to the Active Directory, it will have a record of it. Apart from this, it also maintains records of network devices. Like you guys might have noticed, like at your company place, I mean at your offices, you might have seen Xerox machines, right? Inside your office premises you will have at your HR department and all, you will see some Xerox machines are available to take a printout and Xerox of your documents if needed, right? So those network I mean the printers and the Xerox machines are also network enabled. They are connected over the network. So this Active Directory also keeps a record of those devices as well, the printers and all other stuff, everything which is a device, which is an electronic device, which is connected over the network, will have a record in Active Directory. It doesn't needs to be a laptop or a desktop always. It can be any network device, a printer, a Xerox machine, or anything which is connected over the network. It will have a record in Active Directory. Okay, clear with this? Any doubts?
Yes.
All right. So this is the primary purpose of Active Directory, to maintain a record of each and every object that belongs to your company, that belongs to your organization. That is the primary usage of Active Directory. Apart from this, it also does a very important job. Okay, this is something I was expecting. This is the second point I was expecting from your answers. So keeping a record is one thing. Apart from that, Active Directory is also responsible to authenticate and authorize these objects. Okay, it is also responsible to authenticate and authorize these objects. Which objects? The user accounts, the computer account, the computer devices, the network devices, all these objects which it is keeping a record of. It is also responsible to authenticate them and authorize them. Okay. So what is authentication and what is authorization? Now we need to understand. Any ideas? What is authentication?
Authentication is nothing but we are trying to verify the accounts, the user
Yep.
account. Wherein
Verify.
authorization is
Mhm.
something where we have a full, access to the device.
Access, more of permissions. Yep,
Right.
that's correct. So, see, Active Directory is primarily a directory which keeps a record of all these objects which belongs to the company. Apart from that, when these objects are trying to access something, like as I mentioned, Junaid joined Wipro. Okay, so Junaid.Muhammad at Wipro.com. This account got created in Active Directory of Wipro. Okay, and now this account is maintained, this account information is maintained in Wipro Active Directory. Junaid's account details have been created, so now company knows that there is a new employee, that is his name is Junaid, he belongs to this department, this is his phone number, all the details are stored in the directory of Active Directory. Now when Junaid is trying to access an application, okay, let's say Junaid has recently joined this company. Now Junaid has to submit his attendance, his timesheet for the company. Okay, so when Junaid has to log into the attendance application, he will provide his username, Junaid at the rate wipro.com, with password. So when he enters the username and password, we have to verify his identity, right, whether this password is correct or not. That is called authentication, verifying the identity of a employee, of a user account. When he is trying to access a resource, we will have to verify his credentials, his username and password, whether the password is correct or not. So verifying the identity is called authentication. Verifying the identity and giving the access is called authentication. So who will do the authentication? Active Directory. Why? Because Active Directory has the information of the user account. That is where the user is created. So that is so when I mean, if the directory is aware of the user information, then only it can identify that user. Okay. So when Junaid enters his username, let's say his username is Junaid.Muhammad at wipro.com, but he is just entering Junaid at wipro.com. So Active Directory will say, no, this user doesn't exist. It will throw an error message. So why the request is going to Active Directory to validate his credentials? Because Active Directory is the one who knows this person, who has the record of this person, right? Agree with me, guys? Or any doubts?
Yes,
Yes.
agree.
Okay. So Active Directory knows this person. Why? Because Active Directory is keeping a record of this person. That is the purpose of the directory, right? So it is keeping a record. So Active Directory will verify if username is correct or not. And then Active Directory will verify if the password is correct or not. So when a user account is getting created, it will also has a password for that user account. So when we onboarded this employee Junaid to the Active Directory, when we created his account, we also allocated him a password at the time of user creation, right? So he has to utilize the same password whenever he is accessing any application. If the password is incorrect, if the password is something else, then Active Directory will fail to authenticate him. Right? Active Directory will say no, the username or the password is incorrect. The login will fail. Okay. So this is called authentication, verifying the identity of the object and giving him access is called authentication. Now we'll come to authorization step. So whenever, so this is a global, uh, I mean, it's a globally available fact that whenever you're logging into anywhere, okay, so it can be anything. If you're logging to your Gmail, if you're logging to any application, let's say you're logging to Facebook or anything, there will be two steps. One is authentication and another is authorization. Okay. So whenever you're accessing any application, anything, it can be any application, it can be Instagram, it can be Facebook, it can be your Gmail account, it can be your company related application or anything. Whenever you're providing your username and password, there will be two steps. One step will be authentication, verifying your credentials. Another thing is authorization. Okay, so before I introduce what is authorization, I will give you an example. You all have been working professionals. I mean, if you're not working now, you have. I mean, I know people who are not working at the moment, but they have worked in past. I mean, they have been working to different working with different companies in past as well. So everyone. You know that there is a data center room at your company, right? You might have seen that there is a room wherein there are all the servers placed inside. There are rack servers, all the network cables are there. So the room will be locked. You will not be allowed inside to enter that room, right? Anyone have noticed
Yes.
something like that? There is a data center room wherein all the servers are placed inside, and not everyone is allowed to get inside. Not the employees are allowed to get inside. Only the security people will get inside to make any changes to the servers. Have you ever
Yes,
seen that,
Rajan.
those kind of rooms? Yeah.
Yes.
So see, you have your company ID card, right? Whenever you go to your office, you will carry your ID card, and you will swipe your ID card to get inside your office, right? So every day when you get into your office, you will swipe in and swipe out your ID card. So providing your ID card is nothing but providing your identity, right? You're proving your identity to your company, that you belong to the same company. When you swipe, it will verify that okay, this person is so and so, he belongs to the company. Then the door opens and you get inside, right? So what's happening at that step, at your doorstep? Authentication is happening. It is identifying who you are, right, with the help of the ID card. When you swipe your ID card, it will verify your identity and allows you to get inside. Okay, so you're able to get inside your office, but the same ID card, when you swipe at the data center room, it doesn't open. It gives you a red uh, beep sound that you're not allowed inside, right? Agree with me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So see, your identity is proved, your authentication step is successful, your username and password is matching. It has been verified that you are who you are presenting. Okay. I mean, when I give the username junaid.muhammad at wipro.com with the correct password, my Active Directory will identify, okay, I am the genuine person who is trying to log in. I am Junaid itself who is trying to log in. It will identify me as Junaid itself. It will approve my identity. Authentication is successful. But I will fail at authorization when I'm accessing something which I'm not authorized to. Okay. So that data center room is something which I'm not authorized to access. I'm not permitted to access. Though I belong to the same company, when I swipe my ID card, it is recognizing me as I'm Junaid, but it is not allowing me inside. Just because Junaid, okay, I know that you are Junaid, I know that you belong to this company, but you are not allowed to get into this particular room because this room is restricted for specific people only. This is called authorization. Verifying if you are allowed to access this resource or not. Okay, this is called authorization step. So whenever you're accessing any application, it can be any application, two steps will be there. One is authentication, another thing is authorization. All these things are done by Active Directory. Authentication and authorization is done by Active Directory itself. So it will first verify your identity with the help of your credentials which you present. It can be username, password, or it can be the ID card which you swipe. Okay, or it can be a phone call OTP verification. Everything is just proving your identity. Okay. So when you provide your credentials, it will verify whether the credentials are correct or not. That is authentication. Once verification is done, okay, they will identify, okay, you're the correct person. You are Junaid itself. You are allowed to get into. You belong to the company. Your identity is verified. आपको पहचान लिए वो लोग. Okay, आपकी पहचान पता चल गई. ठीक है, आप जुनेद ही है बोल के आपको आपकी पहचान वेरीफाई हो गई. ठीक है, everyone understands Hindi here? Raghu, how about you? Understands Hindi?
Yes, Razi, I'm comfortable.
Okay. तो आपकी पहचान पता चल गई आपके आईडी कार्ड से. आप जब स्वाइप किए, दे आइडेंटिफाइड यू दैट यू आर द राइट पर्सन. हो, ओके, यू आर जुनेद. आप कंपनी को बिलोंग करते हैं, या वी नो यू. योर आइडेंटिटी इज वेरीफाइड. बट Junaid is not allowed to enter to this room. Junaid is not allowed to access this application. ठीक है, जब आप credentials enter करते यूजर नेम एंड पासवर्ड, your identity is verified. Okay, your username and password is correct, but you cannot access this application. Your Junaid is not allowed to access this application. Authorization is failing. Similar to that data center room in your office. When you swipe, okay, your ID card, they have identified you belong to this company, but you're not allowed to enter this room. You're not authorized. Authorization step is failing. So authorization is something wherein they will identify whether you are allowed to access this resource or not. Basically, permissions. Whether you are permitted to access this resource or not. Whether you are allowed to enter to this room or not. Whether you are allowed to access this application or not. That is authorization. Clear, guys? Authentication and authorization. If I'm asking this question tomorrow, can you guys explain me what is authentication and authorization?
Yes, Razi.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So what are the responsibilities of Active Directory now? Can someone tell me?
It's responsible for authorization and authentication of the device and the
Okay,
user.
but we are missing the primary thing as well. I mean, the primary thing we discussed is it keeps a record. Yeah, Uzma, go ahead.
It keeps the records of each and every object,
Mm-hmm.
like records of the computer objects, network resources, and
Mm-hmm.
about the user accounts, and it allows to
Exactly.
authenticate and authorize these objects.
Exactly. Whenever these objects are accessing any resources, any applications in the company, it will do the authentication and authorization for those users and grant them access to the resources. Yeah. So all these responsibilities are of Active Directory. That is why Active Directory is very much important. It is the core of IT sector. Okay. Without Active Directory, you cannot establish a IT company basically. Okay, whenever you're starting a project, let's say so you guys have been working professional, so you have been working with support projects, right? So whenever you're establishing an IT support environment, first thing you have to have is Active Directory, wherein you will create things. Once things are created, things in the sense user accounts, objects, computer accounts, everything. So when you create things, then you will manage them with the help of storage, backup, database, networking. All these teams comes secondary. Networking team, storage team, backup team, database team, monitoring team, all these teams will come secondary. First thing, you have to have Active Directory where you will create things first. First, you will create user accounts, objects, computers, applications, everything you will create. Then, in order to manage them, you will need backup, storage, database, networking, and all those stuff. So Active Directory is the core team. Wherever you go, wherever you work, Active Directory is the core team which functions in every project. Okay. So I think with this note, I think we can wind up for today. Active Directory introduction. What does Active Directory do? So it's a very, very important interview oriented question, guys. You have to have at least one page of answer, customized answer in your own words. Don't go with bookish definitions. Don't go with my material as well, which I have shared. That material is just for your understanding. Just don't by heart those definitions for interview. Don't go with any public documents as well. Create your own answer, customized answer. I mean, I have explained you everything about it. So create your own answer, customized answer. Try to elaborate and write a one page of answer. That will be better for your interview, basically. Okay.
Like you have
All
given
right.
some examples, so we can give these types of examples during interviews.
Definitely, yes. The examples which I have given you. So the example of like the data center room authorization is a very good example. I think I mean I'm used to similar examples. Tariq, if you remember, did I you used to have similar example in the previous batches as well?
Kind of.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's a simple example wherein I think you guys can easily relate and understand. So I generally use such examples. Yeah.
Okay, okay, thank you.
All right, I'll stop the recording. 1 second.